All right, Aquarius. Yeah, so some things that have maybe kept you in your head, maybe kept you from talking, speaking. You may have needed to look some things over. Things that once mattered or things that felt unfair to you. It's really important. And the reason why we can be taken back to that child or being more childlike is because that's where it's perhaps been stuck, in many different somatic body modalities, including yoga, massage, all different types of massage, acupuncture. We store our emotions in our bodies. We store it in those muscles. So if you're feeling sore at all or feeling like that part of you needs, different ways, like shaking it out or moving all about, hokey pokey, it's really important, especially if those are what's speaking to you. Again, you might see something that keeps coming up, or you see someone that you trust that's either speaking about this or feels so strongly, and they, come off as someone, at least as far as as someone who's very in control of what they can be, very easeful. This causes a major change in your life. A major change, and I'm going to put this down here because it makes sense to the cards about to come out. All right. This helps, again, we talked about the masculine energy. It helps balance out that feminine energy that you possibly been looking for. This month is a lot about nurturing that part of yourself that didn't get the light, the shine, the attention that it's needed in a long time. And you find this through how you're being treated now by the people around you. When we're able to build a very solid community or group of people, these people start treating you a certain way, and then let's just say, no matter why this is happening, someone treats you in a very off-putting way, and you realize, oh, this is not how I'm treated by people who love me and who I value, and vice versa. But here this is happening. Just want to be able to see the cards underneath even. And that's what kind of kicks in through this process of shedding the layer, this exfoliation. Now you feel the glow of other people, and then it shakes up this idea of what fulfillment means, what it means to have a very rich textured life. And Taurus season kind of brings you into that. Yes, you are the sign that knows good quality as well. Taurus knows the texture, what that's supposed to feel like, that kind of sense, that taste, as well as the feel, right? So this has you realize that maybe you've been looking at something in a way that, or putting energy into something in a way that hasn't been helpful, because this really shifts a thought process, a whole structure in your life. Maybe what you begin to believe in. Maybe you start thinking about how things really do work from the inside out, and if I start connecting to my body more, right, you'll find that there's a greater sense of personal power and direction, even in the vastness, even in this whole open space that you've just created within your own psyche. Now you've created space in your body, and some things will begin to let go of. You might even feel emotional releases. You may even find yourself being very drawn towards people, situations, materials, and different, material items that suit who you're becoming now. You find yourself having different taste in things, perhaps, and that, because that adds even to those deeper layers. It's superficial, but it adds to those deeper layers. You feel a lot more confident, independent of what has given you, what what you've needed. So the people in your life, if you've asked for it, if you show it, if you're in communication about these things, if you go see someone, maybe you pay someone for it. But I think it's very important for you to find it in your personal relationships, because most likely then it will teach you how to seek that in your business relationships, because the feelings will be the same. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same exchange, right? It's can be a little bit more transactional with business, like in career or whatever situation that you find yourself in. But even independent of that, you find that out in the vastness that there's so much more to offer, there's so much more to give, there's so much more fortune in knowing that it's all fleeting, but at the same time you can experience it. And it maybe starts this light in you. It empties out the rest of that part of you that perhaps was only given a certain way of thought as a child, because we can have our questions and we can have our curiosities, but if there's no one there to nurture that, then it can get shut down, and it can shut down those senses. So here in Taurus season, there's like a lot of that being, again, invigorated. And it brings like it unearths, like I talked about in the Cancer reading, it unearths something in you. Something comes out from lying dormant, maybe even for the past 4 years or so. This might be the end, you know? We might have done this real nice here. Because by the end of the month, you feel more in control than you felt in a really long time. You know, you are someone who wants to spread things and disperse far and wide. But you do need to find those places where you can control. What this abundance feeling is that you're going to feel overwhelmingly. Again, like we talked about before, how, you know, I never have any bias on where these readings go at all. And this one only got better and better the more that you really listen to yourself, because the more that you're in tune with your body, not just the space around you, not just the thought process, the concepts around you, but like actually the space and feeling that. And I know it can take your nervous system to become slightly accustomed to that, but you find a way to implement it into your life that makes for so much more opportunity, growth, wealth, whatever abundance really that concept is to you, and whatever you're really willing to step into. You're putting a lot of these lessons to work. And that energy now is, again, that transmutation is going to start to feed off of each other. Because this month you've really been willing, instead of trying to lead it, be before it, find it first, you've been willing to be receptive. That's what this month in Taurus season always asks, be receptive of its nature. You know, not just because you have all this extra leftover energy or this newfound energy, like being awakened in the spring. It's because you actually can have it. You may find yourself wanting to do maybe things alone or independent of what's been comfortable, but you find comfort in that because you don't have to worry. You don't have as much stress. A lot of stress can be relieved this month as well. You could find some value in speaking to people about things that you know, and that could really introduce a whole new opening. That could be what introduces this opening from the 3 of Pentacles to 3 of Wands. And maybe it's from hearing someone else and feeling that inspiration. It's not lack there. It really sends you to go deeper into thought or have a great conversation with people that have not only like minds, but are looking to grow in that same way. Maybe it just happens. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. And there. It's all right here. We'll see you next month.